Hey everyone, welcome back to the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast. I am Mark. That's Ryan. Hi Ryan.
Hey.
Um, Ryan,
Yeah.
Ari Aster,
Yeah.
a director with he has a track record.
Yes.
He has a style.
Yes.
He has given us Hereditary.
Yes.
He has given us Midsummer,
Yes.
and then he gave us Beau is Afraid.
Yeah, he did.
But now he gives us something else. He gives us
Yes.
what I believe I called in the theater the other night, perhaps the most conventional film he's ever made. And that would be
Sure.
Eddington.
Sure. You could. Yes. You could. You could. I could get behind that. I see where you're coming from.
There are no supernatural elements. There's no ghosts. There's there's kind of a cult.
Yes. 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 I would say something. Yes.
But it's a fairly conventional cult in Ari Aster terms.
Well, sure. It's yeah.
It's a cult that you or I might encounter on any given day, really. Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second. So coming in at a brisk compared to Beau is Afraid, 2 hours and 28 minutes. Eddington takes place in May of 2020,
yes.
Which, if you'll recall, was just at the beginning of the recent unpleasantness.
Yeah.
In Eddington, New Mexico, a town of about 12 people. That's an exaggeration, but just barely.
It's a small town.
It's a small town right next to the res. So we're going to have some conflicts there as this goes. But so this whole thing is a contest of wills between the sheriff, Joe Cross, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and Mayor Ted Garcia, played by Papi Pedro Pascal. There's a lot of history in here between our main characters. There's a lot to unpack, to talk about. We could pick 4 topics to talk about and probably still have 10 topics we don't talk about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the easy ones. Let's start. It starts with COVID. Let's go back to COVID because that's the easiest one to talk about. So you have a town where there is no COVID.
Well,
there is no COVID in Eddington, New Mexico.
Okay.
But there are state mandates, if you'll recall the recent unpleasantness. And there are confrontations between you must wear a mask even if you're across the street from someone, and I'm across the street from someone outside, why do I need to wear a mask, people? That is the easiest confrontation we have in this entire film. And it's I think it's safe to say that he doesn't overplay that. If you
no, well, and here's the thing, that is perhaps, I don't know, at least early on. I don't want to say saving grace, but it is, because it's a very hard film to kind of squirm your way through.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, everyone is right. To a certain extent, yes. You can, whatever the argument is, they are at least to a certain degree correct and doing probably what they should. And that applies to you can't treat people that way even if they're not wearing a mask argument, as well as we're trying to protect ourselves. Can you just please try and protect yourself argument, to we've been mandated argument, to it's a mandate, it's not a law argument.
Yep.
So there's a lot going on here. And while it would be easy to paint everyone as good, bad, depending on your point of view regarding masks, I think the truth of the matter is there's a little, like I said, a little good and in everybody.
A little right and a little wrong.
Yes.
I wouldn't say good or bad. I would say right
Yeah. Okay. That's
and
fair.
wrong. Yeah.
Which is why it is so incredibly frustrating, I think.
What what frustrates you about that?
But just the we like to be able to paint people as being right or wrong. And so when there is a lot of gray area, as there was,
Was
it becomes a little harder to align with the characters in this film.
yes.
You can't be like, well, I'm going to go with this person for. I mean, you could, but you're always going to be faced with a, yeah, but maybe a little something. I don't know, but
Yes.
so
And that is actually part of what caused so many problems is that people were forced to you had to accept all or none.
yes,
No one was allowed to accept some within reason or deny some within reason. That was the problem. The entire world, but really the United States was you were forced to play the all or none game. And that breeds conflict. Now, that's not the only thing that breeds conflict in this town.
no, no,
Um,
that's just the tip of the iceberg in
that's
this
just
town.
what that's just that is the matrix in which they're operating.
Yes,
Inside that matrix, they are dealing with the attempted introduction of a huge data center
yes,
that's being backed by a rich person that doesn't live in Eddington through the mayor, Ted Garcia, whom some people think is corrupt because he's a politician, and some people kind of back because he's a nice guy. And shortly after Joe Cross decides he has had enough of Ted Garcia as mayor for other reasons
yeah,
that become apparent through the film as it goes, that he's going to run for mayor. The George Floyd dies in Minneapolis.
yes,
And that, once again, Joe Cross is correct. And he says, that is a Minneapolis problem. That is not an Eddington problem. Until it becomes an Eddington problem.
and yes.
Because, and here's the whole thing. I want to blame this entire movie.
Oh dear.
Ready? No, you're going to love this.
Okay, all
On
right.
teenage hormones.
Well, okay. Not
Think about
necessarily
it for a
wrong.
second.
No. There is a lot of that is going on. That the motivation of certain characters, uh, at least two, you could maybe say three characters, is surrounding one young woman.
Yes.
And
And
actually, you could say that the emotions are surrounding that there are various dynamics in this film that are revolving around a singular character, most of them being women, because there is also an adult female that has kind of things circling around her as well.
yes. But in terms of the escalation of events, I blame the teenagers.
Yes, the teenagers are looking to join a movement and protest something without exactly having any idea of what they're exactly protesting or what they want from their protest
Or what it means, or
or how
anything.
or how it applies to them in the place that they are.
Yes, which we okay, again, we don't discuss politics on this.
No,
We don't discuss just blatant politics.
sure,
And we've agreed that you and I have different politics.
we do often.
But what I found hilarious about this, and the reason I say I blame the teenagers, is because every time there was a protest or a roadblock or somebody's giving a speech, especially out of those characters, all you heard was buzzwords
Yes,
that they clearly were just regurgitating and didn't actually understand
yes,
whether they were right or
they're
wrong. They
well,
had no
no,
clue.
correct. And I think that there was a sense of we agree that there's something horrible going on, and we don't want to miss out on saying it's horrible to a certain,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, so the teenagers are up in arms over what is happening in other areas, not necessarily what's happening in their town, but they still
Yep.
want to protest,
And
even though no one knows exactly why, but
right.
nonetheless.
But that raises the tension on law enforcement, the sheriff who's running for mayor. And then
Yes.
it all bubbles up from that. If this had happened at any other time, it would have just been the weirdest mayoral race ever. But it just logs just kept getting thrown
Yes.
on the fire of Eddington.
Well, and it's the I guess the sad part of this. I don't know if it's the sad part of this, but maybe the scary part of this, or the is that all of this is not fiction. That this is more or less based on things that actually happened,
Not all in the same place necessarily.
not necessarily all in the same place, but
Correct.
to a certain degree that happened in a lot of places.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that is why I call this it's the most conventional film that he's made,
At
is
least
because
in
everything's based in reality.
sure, the except for maybe elements of the final act.
The post-election.
And the private jet. Once the private
Oh,
jet enters
well,
the
yeah,
situation.
I thought that was great because I said, you saw all the kids and they were using all the buzzwords that they didn't understand.
Yeah.
And so if you watch it and you're a diehard, I'll say it, right winger, you
Sure.
see that and you're like, yep, that's those stupid kids. Then you see the private jet. And that is absolutely, whether it was true or not, I actually don't know, that something like that might have happened. That was
Well,
a right wing.
sure.
We'll call it a conspiracy theory
There
because
we
I
go.
don't know if it actually happened.
There you go.
But so then if you are a left winger, you look at that and say, yeah, that's those crazy right wingers. So he didn't pick a side. He took all of the insanity of that period and crammed it into this movie. And that's why it's so hard to watch, not to watch. I mean, because there's parts of it that are just flat out entertaining. They're either funny or they're straight up dramatic or they're sad. There's legitimate pieces to this film, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to say whether I enjoyed the film or not. I don't know that I wouldn't go to the theater and watch it again. If it came on TV, I might watch it again just to see if I can wrap my head around it after a break and try to find another way in.
Sure.
But there's a lot. What do we say? There's a lot to unpack there. And what did you say? Yes, but once it's unpacked,
What do we got?
what do we have?
Yeah.
And that's the question we're left with now, is what do we have? What is this ultimately about? Is this about social norms in terms of early pandemic response? Is this about political machinations in terms of what each side does in the mayoral race? Is this big bad business in terms of data center? It's there's a lot of stuff, and that none of it is really resolved.
No, and I would say that by the end of the film, I don't know what Ari Aster feels.
No,
I don't know but I also don't know that he was trying to find any answers.
and that's a good point, because if he was actually trying to say something that he believed, this would be a much more one-sided, not necessarily distinctly one-sided, one way or the other. But the only thing you can take away from this is that maybe he's just trying to indict the entire system, which
Well,
goes back to my favorite saying when we talk about movies like this is that the real monsters are people.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it's
You know, but it does kind of go off the rails a little bit at the end on purpose.
yeah.
The
Oh yeah, that
climax,
snowball starts rolling.
yeah, and it just keeps on,
It's
and
not stop.
it starts basically. I mean, you could kind of pinpoint where it starts, and then it just goes wackadoodle from there to a
Is it the
certain extent.
bar? Is that where you
Yes,
wanted to? Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I think once that happens,
Oh yeah, all bets are off.
then you're like, okay, so we have now passed that. We are now in the Ari Aster film.
Yes.
We have gone past the Ari Aster notes, and we are
Right.
now in the film, that his film
Yes.
rather than his notes. Because we haven't even talked. I mean, there's so many little things going on in this. There are lots of little relationships. Um, with because it is a small town, there is long history.
Yep.
With everybody, and there are rumors and there's speculation, and there are some people believe something that may or may not be true. And to be quite honest, at a certain point, I'm not sure that I know what's true and what's not true either.
And what's in a small town, it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
That may be.
So
Um,
it is a weird again. Yeah, there's just so much stuff going on, and we haven't even talked about. We talked about Joaquin and we talked about Pedro.
yeah,
Emma
but
Stone is
there's
Joaquin's wife,
yes, and she's got a
around
whole
whom
thing.
things are revolving.
Yeah, she would be the other woman. She's the adult woman that things are circulating around
Yep.
rather than the
Um,
teen. Although the stuff circulating around her is just as nuts and maybe to a certain degree stupid
yeah.
as the teenagers thing. Um,
Yep.
but it's certainly important.
Yep. But we have Matt Gomez Hidaka, who plays Pedro's son, the mayor's
Yes.
son.
Yes.
Amelie Hofferly, who plays the teenage girl, Sarah.
Yeah.
Cameron Mann plays Brian, the other teenage boy around
Yeah.
whom is or around he's revolving around Sarah. Uh, Emma Stone's mom, Deidre O'Connell, who lives
Yeah.
with them because she is either mentally ill or incredibly conspiratorial by nature. One of the or
He's
both. Or
probably
both.
a mixture of things.
Yeah. Luke Grimes is a deputy. Um, uh, uh, was it Michael Ward is another deputy he's a black police officer
In a small town.
in a small town as the George Floyd riots are picking up, who Sarah likes
Yes.
and keeps trying to harass him. But you should be standing with us, not with the cops. Austin Butler plays
A
a guy,
guru? A guru,
a
maybe?
guru. He kind of you kind of think he's a motivational speaker, but he's a motivational with a bent. But then by the end, he's something else. He gets involved in the Joe and Louise Cross household. And all of these performances are great,
Yeah.
but this movie is just it's not Beau is Afraid.
No.
Thank God.
It's yeah, yeah.
It's
Which
more accessible than that, but there's a lot of stuff, and again, and because he makes no definitive declarations as a director,
no.
so you are left to make. So it's almost a Rorschach test for the viewer.
Mm.
Uh,
Yes.
to determine what you think is actually going on. You're right. The very end, the last sequence of the film is just, it's both, there's no way that happened,
Yeah.
but it's a small town and all of that stuff happened. So of course it happened. But then what I thought was funny is that the Brian, the one of the two pseudo suitors for
Yes.
Sarah, who really is in. He is like doing all the research to get on her good side. So
Oh yes.
he's the regurgitator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, of the vernacular.
Yes.
He has two great scenes in this, and one is the speech he gives at the end, where
Mm-hmm.
he's going off about as a white person.
I have no.
I should sit down, but which I'm going to do right after I give this speech
Yeah.
that I shouldn't even be allowed to give. And then after that, after what happens in that final sequence, he becomes this weird. You would call him an alt-right social media figure.
Yes.
Because he turns into a Second Amendment person because of things that happen. But he's not really a Second Amendment person.
No.
He's if you've been keeping track of him as the movie goes on, he's an opportunist.
Yes.
So there's some great stuff, but man, oh day, it's a lot of stuff, and so you have to pick something to focus on, and then try to absorb the rest. But yeah, it is. I think it really is kind of this weird Rorschach test of a thing.
Now, we some of us stuck around and tried to talk through a few things after you left.
Yeah, I missed it. I had to leave. I had to drive back.
Yeah, we understand. And I think that the one thing that we were comfortable saying
Yeah,
about the film and that we could all, at least to a certain extent, agree on is that whether this was the intent or not, but that it stirred up every freaking emotion that everyone had at some point during the pandemic.
Yep.
And it rattled it around on you. And if that was the goal of just to, hey, remember how crazy things got, and to kind of look at it from not 5 feet away, but like 2 feet away at this point, it's
Right.
still pretty fresh,
Right.
and just kind of have everything put in front of you in 2 hours or whatever, 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Maybe now we can have a conversation about all those things. The problem being, all those things are so many things.
Yes.
It's a. I don't hate the film. I honestly don't.
No.
I honestly completely utterly hated Beau is Afraid.
Oh.
But I was probably more frustrated with this film than any film that I've seen in recent memory. But that's what it wants to do. Its purpose is to sit there and poke the bear. Whatever bear you might be,
Well,
it is going to poke you.
It also makes you see the other bear.
Yes.
Whether you want to or not. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on. Then if that was his goal, is it too soon?
I don't know if it's too soon. Maybe.
Will it always be too soon?
Yeah, I think that's exactly. And I don't think Ari cares about too soon.
Yeah.
And that may be a strength or a weakness. It hard to tell. But yeah, it's an incredibly frustrating film.
Yep.
And I actually think because the end goes so weird that he lets us the audience off the hook
by making it that crazy at the end.
It almost because it gets to a point where you're no longer frustrated because it's just gone off the rails on purpose.
Right.
And so
maybe that is the out.
And you're to the point where at that point maybe you just can't take anything anymore, and he's got to have some sort of resolution. So being Ari Aster, he goes for some extreme things because that's what he.
But he does keep it in the realm of
reality mostly.
Again, it's like, is it though? The craziest thing is the wheelchair.
Well,
that's literally the craziest thing, and that's where you'd have to go. Well, it is a small town.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff.
You'll understand when you watch the movie, people.
There's stuff that, again, conspiracy theory, maybe, exaggeration.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if some of the conspiracy theories are true, this still takes it and blows it up to a point where it is no longer the truth.
Right.
if it would ever was, I guess. Because who knows? I mean, I'm not going to put the way the world's been the past few years. I'm not going to try to make anything definitive
No, there's
because
no.
there's a part of me that says, you know what, there's just so much weirdness that anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so yes, frustrating film. Doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you were on. Be prepared to be angry
Yep.
and maybe, well, and uncomfortable.
But then maybe take a breath.
Hopefully, and you know,
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, again, this is A24.
yeah,
So, but it's in theaters tomorrow, or the 18th of July. However you'd like
yes,
to look at that. Tomorrow for us. So, again, there's good performances, there's good bits, there's a lot of things that you'll recognize if you had the TV on at all 5 years ago. Yeah, and you'll probably be angry at things, a lot of things. So there you go. So that is Eddington, Ari Aster in theater.
yeah.
And that is it. So we've got other stuff to talk about, which we're going to get to. So we are going to let you go for now.
Thankfully, yes.
Yes. Don't forget to like us, follow us on social media. Go to the website, vsmoviepodcast.com. It's got links to all of our stuff there. Check us out. We will talk again soon, but until we do, be good, stay safe. I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See ya.
And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.